everyone, I'm really excited to talk about something a little bit different than coffee today. We're going to talk about tea. Now, Onyx has a pretty large catalog of tea offerings nowadays, but there's one that's a little bit different, and it's actually one of my favorites, and that's matcha. Now, you'll see inside, and I will note you'll want to open this very carefully because often there's kind of an explosion of green powder, but inside is a very, very, very finely ground powder. This is ground up green tea, and we source it from the Uji region of Japan. It's super tasty, and there are a couple different ways you can prepare it. So we're going to prepare it doing the traditional method, and then we're also going to show you a couple different drink options that you can enjoy matcha with. Okay, so starting off, we're going to need a couple different tools. We're going to start off with a scale. We have, of course, our matcha. I have some hot water going right over here. We have it set to about 170 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we also have this matcha preparation bowl. This is a really, really nice wide, like kind of flat-based bowl that we're gonna be preparing the matcha inside. This one is made by MK Ceramics. It says Onyx on the front. It's very fun. It's very pretty. Additionally, you'll notice that it has this little like spout on the side. This is going to make it very easy to pour our prepared matcha into whatever sort of serving vessel you're using. Now we have one more tool here as well. This is called a matcha whisk. So you can see it is these very, very fine like bamboo, like wood construction that's going to be used to kind of break up and really emulsify the fine matcha powder we have with the water we're going to be using. Now we're going to be starting off with about 2 grams of our matcha powder. Okay, about 2 grams in there. Additionally, if you want to really make sure you don't have any clumps in your matcha, you are able to put it through a little fine sifter as well, and that will help break up any clumps that you aren't going to get out with this. But we're going to be pretty thorough with our whisk. Now again, we have 2 grams of tea in here right now, so we're going to add about 40 grams of the water we have set at 170 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, and now you have your whisk, and we're gonna make a very particular motion here. We're gonna be kind of doing like a back and forth, like either M shape or W if you wanna go the opposite way. That's gonna allow us to really break up those clumps. We're gonna be doing this for about 10 to 15 seconds, and we're really looking to create some kind of like some frothiness in the matcha. Like you'll see some like bubbles form. That's awesome, that's perfect. So let's put our scale away, and we'll get whisking. So it's pretty fast. It's back and forth, and because this bowl has a nice flat bottom, it's very easy for all of those little whisk bits to get at the bottom and break up any matcha that's sitting down there. Now, this is your matcha base. You can do a couple different things with this, but the first thing we're gonna do is just drink it as it comes. So if you would like to just enjoy this as a tea by itself, grab yourself a little drinking vessel. This one happens to also be made by MK. We're gonna pour our matcha in. And let's grab our scale once more. We're gonna top this off with 60 more grams of water. So that's gonna be a total weight of 100 grams of water. And again, we're still set at that 170 degrees. Now, if you've had green tea before, matcha very much exhibits a lot of those characteristics, but kind of in a more like exaggerated way. Like you will taste like a lot of really, really nice kind of like earthiness to it. It has a really, really deep umami. It has a very light sweetness to it. Some of our tasting notes actually that we have listed on this matcha are almond, pomelo, which is like a type of citrus. You have white sugar, a brisk freshness, and abundant umami. So it's very, very pleasant. It's a nice like sipping, drinking experience. However, you can take matcha a couple different ways as well. So I'm going to show you next kind of a sweeter way to enjoy matcha, and one that you will see in cafes quite a lot. Once more, we are just whisking up some matcha in the exact same way we prepared it before. So 2 grams of matcha powder, and then we have about 40 grams of water at 170. I have a very nice Onyx mug here, and it's clear, so you'll be able to see everything we're doing. So instead of adding water now, we're just going to pour in our kind of like matcha base. And then to this, if you want it just kind of like straight up and unsweetened, you can add either steamed or cold milk. However, if you want to sweeten it, I do have kind of a recommendation for what sort of sweetener you should use. I personally really prefer honey. I think kind of like the very natural, kind of like deeper sweetness that honey has lends itself really nicely to a pairing with matcha. So I'm gonna add about ½ ounce of honey to this. Now you have your base here. So if you wanted to use this as an iced matcha, all you'd need to do is add milk and ice. However, we're gonna do a hot matcha. You can use whatever milk option you like. We're gonna go with oat milk today just because it again kind of like matches with this flavor pairing of like kind of deeper sweetness, really like earthiness and umami of the matcha, and the oats have, I don't know, it's just really nice. It's a good combination. Okay, so we've got some nice steamed oat milk here. Give this a swirl and then a simple latte pour. Okay, that is also a very, very lovely way to enjoy matcha. This is the most common way that you will see matchas prepared in cafes, and it's really, really delicious and tasty and very filling as well. Also, I will note that matcha as a green tea, and also because it's so concentrated, does pack a good amount of caffeine. So if you are interested in replacing perhaps your coffee with tea, but are missing that caffeine potentially, matcha is a really delicious replacement. Okay, let's make one more matcha drink. This one is gonna be iced. Okay, so we're gonna be making a sparkling matcha soda. It's very light and refreshing and tasty, so we're gonna pour in sparkling water probably to about right here. Not all the way to the top. We need to add our matcha. Because it's carbonated, there's probably gonna be a little bit of fizzing that happens. Okay, and then our matcha is gonna go right on top. And you're ready to enjoy. You can always sweeten this again. This is naturally unsweetened. Matcha is not a very, very sweet tea. It has a little bit of those notes in it, but on its own, it's very light, very refreshing. Honey, again, is a really good addition. A lot of people like lavender with their matcha, and so any sort of syrups that you want to play around with, I would say go for it. Matcha is also a really fun ingredient to bake and cook with, and there are lots of fun things you can make with that. So hope this was helpful for you. I hope this sparked a couple ideas. And again, if you want to find our matcha or explore anything else in our tea selection, you can check one of the top links in the description down below. This was a lot of fun. I'm gonna go drink a couple of these drinks. Thanks for joining us.